China dynamics with the world and Australia, along with electric vehicle migration, is giving us a rare opportunity and that you shouldn't ignore. I'll be talking about a rare earth metal, specifically NdPr, and why I it deemed to be a future element that you shouldn't ignore. I call it specifically mind to magnet play. In this video, I'll be covering up what are rare earth metals, what specifically NdPr, how are they used, some of the stats to support the arguments, and also we'll be looking at some of the technical charts of the listed companies in Australia. Hi, my name is Shivendra, and in this channel, I share stock analysis, sector analysis, also talk about some of the interesting charts that you shouldn't be ignoring, and much more. If you're new to this channel and the content is of your interest, be sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe to this channel so don't miss a thing. So let's get straight into it. Before we jump into the details, I want you to pause the video and read the warning message and disclaimer so that if you agree, then please proceed further. Otherwise, this video is not for you. So, what are we covering today? We'll be covering up what are the key components of rare metals, what is NdPr, how it is used. We'll be covering up some of the statistics and supporting the growth predictions and the current prices of the specific rare metals. And we'll talk about some of the technical charts and patterns of the company. So let's get into the first section, key components of rare earth metal and what is NdPr and how it is used. Let's quickly cover what are rare earths and why we call it rare in this case. Rare earths are around 17 elements which are usually found together, and this is the list of all 17 rare earth elements or metals. Although they're not rare, but economic deposits are quite scarce, and we will see in the future slides how we call it scarce and which country controls the most of the rare earth. And the deposits separation is quite difficult. And we're going to be specifically deep diving onto praseodymium and neodymium, which is also called NdPr. And what are, in this slide, let's cover quickly what are rare earth used for, what are different applications, technological applications, industrial applications, and there's the whole list in front of you. But specifically, let's deep dive on the magnets, where we talked about NdPr and their usage in automotive, wind turbine, drives for computers, mobile phones, cameras, voice calls, hybrid, electric vehicle, cordless power tools, sensors, and even you're going to see some more applications in terms of how it is used in the weaponry system as well. These are some of the everyday uses of permanent magnets. And as you can see here, we have for the clean energy player, it's also kind of used in the wind turbines, is used in electric vehicles and all the electric equipments which are you're using at home, and along with it also has the military applications as well. I'm sure you're enjoying these videos thus far. Before we progress further, it's a quiz time, and I think it's also very important that we keep learning and improving our knowledge, and that's one of my mission. All I want you is just write me the answer option in the comment box below. What is the right answer? If you buy a company stock, which one is the valid option? You own a part of the company, you have lent money to the company. Option C is the company will return your original investment to you with interest, or D, you don't know, not sure. Please type in the comment box below with just an option A, B, C, D, and I'll be sharing the right answer at the end of the video. We move to the next section. We know what is a rare metal, what is NdPr, and what is our usage. Let's look at some of the predictions or statistics behind the magnet uses and specifically NdPr. So EVs driving the NdPr market opportunity, and that is the one which big theme we are talking about. And that is, as you can see here, the growth predicted for 2030 is going to be exponentially improving and increasing, specifically for the wind energy, automotive energy, and the air conditioning, consumer electronics. As we all know, sorry, as you know, the demand for electric vehicle, we are transitioning, or there's a complete value migration happening towards the EV story. And that's where I think the role for these magnets and specifically for this rare earth element will become bigger and bigger. And this particular chart, which is you can see the source from where it has been taken, is becoming a critical element for the future. This particular slide, let's talk about who are the main producers for this by country. And as you can see, in 2017, it was China, which is maximum producer of it, and they also use this as a bargaining tool with the world, given that they control most of the production, which is close to almost 70% and more. And then we got Australia, which has the biggest deposits, and others. And In 2018, you can see the America has come into foray as well there, because they also believe that this is a very very critical element. So they have also come into play to start producing this rare earth metal specifically, and so that it's not only highly dependent on Chinese mine. So China dominates RE production with few non-Chinese mines, and it is very very critical element for high-tech economic growth in future, green revolution, and military application. Its production. Now that you know what is rare earth and how, why I call it as it's an element for future, and China controlling the major production of rare earth, it's always using that as a bargaining power. Here are some of the screenshot of where China has used their rare earth metal as a bargaining tool. As you can see, rare earth are Xi's ace card in long march of trade war. US-China trade. What are rare earth metal and what's the dispute? China state planner suggests using rare earth in US trade war. So there is no time to waste in the race for rare earth metal. So as you see, this is the news channel CNBC says Global Times, China can play the rare earth card again. So China dominance in this and using this as their bargain tool is very evident here, and because they control maximum production. Let's quickly talk about, as per the US Geological Society, the maximum production of rare earth is done by China, and the United States has decreased in 2005, but now they are coming back again because they see this is as a critical element, and rest of the world is just, and including Australia, as a minuscule production, and maximum share of the production comes from China. And if you look at it down below, the whole value chain from mining to magnet and the vehicle assembly, the most of the part of the value chain is processed or dependent on China. So that's the story, which is very, very interesting, and how the reliance on this particular rare earth can be decoupled from China. And given that there's a huge opportunity, because China itself is crumbling because of the pollution in their own country, and they are also moving towards the clean energy electric vehicle, and they're adopting that very quickly and from the rest of the world. That's something is to me is a value migration for over a couple of years to come. And we have covered this, I think, what are the permanent magnets. So at this particular slide specifically, we talk about the magnets used, made out of NdPr, and they're used in electric vehicles, wind farms, industrial motors, robots. And as you all agree now that this is the technology for the future, and given there's a change in leadership in America, that whole clean energy theme will come into fore now again, which was kind of a back burner uh, during Trump previous administration. So, what is the weight of a particular rare earth in a permanent magnet? It constitutes around 31 to 32%. It is quite a big chunk which is used as part of production of the magnet. So, in this particular graph, it shows about the demand for the magnet will be going drastically over years to come, and that's where the demand for this rare earth will keep increasing. There's a huge growth anticipated for the electric vehicle. And this particular slide specifically talk about what is the demand for electric vehicle, and demand for neodymium, praseodymium will keep increasing, because there'll be each electric vehicle will, its main component is magnet, and magnet constitute of 33% of the, close to 33% by weight of the rare earth metal which we're talking about. There are other metals which comes into play, which is also interest, like cobalt and lithium, which forms part of the battery, but that's a topic we can cover some other time. But more interestingly, I think neodymium and praseodymium is it's kind of an rare earth metal which demands will keep increasing because of the growth of EV story, along with the tailwinds for the other industries, which is the wind turbines and industrial applications like in Apple, and also for the military usage. And that's specifically covering up. As you can see, a particular turbine consumes 2 to 3 tons of rare earth in the permanent magnet. So that's, if you think that's where we are moving towards, then definitely there's a lot of demand which is going to be created for this rare earth and the production of it. Other small theme again in drone as well, we the this magnet is used. So the industrial application of this magnet will keep increasing, and so the increase of demand for this rare earth as well. Let's now look at it what is supply demand imbalance? In this particular graph, you have the demand and then there is a production. There is a significant gap which has been forming, and that is what causing the prices to go up for this rare earth metal. And that is projected that there'll be a huge gap, and that's where the prices of these particular rare earth will go higher and higher as in future. And again, that's a prediction and that's a probability. Nobody can say in certainty, but that's something which is a demand imbalance which will be created and which will create the prices of these to push up. With this, I think now I'll take you to some of the companies which I have shared in my Twitter handle, and also I'll be covering up some of the charts. So I'll be sharing my screen and walk you through the charts of some of the companies which I'm tracking specifically. So let's quickly look at the chart pattern of three stocks, rare metal stocks, which are listed in ASX: LYC, ARU, WML. And if you look at it, these stocks have been really a wealth destroyer. The same story goes with ARU. Also has been a wealth destroyer. Let's look at WML again. It's a wealth destroyer. And with the new EV story and the rare earth prices going up, there's a huge volume being built up, and which has never seen before. And these volumes are way bigger than the volumes which you saw the last cycle. And keep in mind, these are the mineral stocks, they are cyclical nature. So you need to have a right entry point and exit point. Otherwise, if you don't know how to exit from these stocks timely, then you're going to be, having a paper money where like it went all the way up from here on March 19th. It had 43x and thereafter lost all of that gains, and it must be very painful seeing all the paper money and then suddenly evaporating in this downfall. So it's very, very important that you need to know when to enter and when to exit. Otherwise, and I personally don't invest large portion of my portfolio in these stocks, but always it is also important to invest at the right time to generate the alpha in the portfolio. And I think this story has some tailwinds, which is on my Twitter. I kind of posted on January 8th this and posted that something happening with ARU, and when there was hardly any kind of traction in the social media or the mainstream media about it. And now you can see the flurry of articles available there. ARU, which I think I picked up as part of my price action analysis over the weekend, as part of my peaceful weekend investing method. And in the same time, I also kind of shared this idea of LYC, and that's since then the stock has been almost gone up from close to $3.74 to $5.44, which is I think 50-60% increase from that price. And you can see all the media now talk about as Chinese rare earth stock prices rally, pressure rise for the rest of the world. Same goes in Lynas share jump on deal with US rare earth plant. As I mentioned to you, that US is also, every government is trying to make sure that they have a proper supply of their earth. They just want to make sure that they are not dependent on China on the entire value chain. So I think, in my opinion, this story has some tailwinds. I'll be tracking that very closely. If you like this video, I would highly recommend to subscribe to my channel and also hit the like button and click the notification bell so you get notified when I post the next video. In this video, we saw what is rare metals and what are different types of rare metals. We covered about what are the different usage, industrial and business usage for those metals. And we talked about in second section about the statistics. We looked at where the demand is, how the growth predictions which are being talked about, especially electric vehicle play and other usage for the rare metal, especially NdPr. And we talked about 3 ASX listed companies and their technical charts and their kind of doing in terms of the recent price movements and the price action. Let's talk about the quiz which I asked you at the end of the section 1, which is, if you buy a company stock, the right answer is you own a part of the company, option A. If you have selected option A, congratulations, look at the company as your part owner of that company. Okay. One small request, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do subscribe it, hit the notification bell, and also write down in comment box below what were the 3 key takeaways from this video. I'm looking forward for your comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.